What's up, everybody? First of all, I gotta apologize if it sounds like I'm phoning it in literally, but this is the best sound quality I could get on this for now until I find some alternate program. Anyway, I'm reviewing Transformers Earth Wars for your mobile devices, and this game is actually pretty intense. It's a Clash of Clans style game, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be upgrading your base, all kinds of stuff like that. You're going to be creating your defense. You want to make sure that nobody attacks it. You can start off either as the Autobots or the Decepticons, and they end up giving you a couple of crystals that you can use in order to call forth any Autobots or Decepticons, depending on who you pick. So I obviously started off as the Autobots, and there are many different things going on here. As you can see, I have a bunch of different turrets and weapons all around my base, which is right over here, and it is level 10. I have 5 of these build bots that are around, and these guys, they stay at level 1. Basically, they're how you create or rebuild all your stuff. So here, I'll go right here to this, and I will upgrade this to level 8. And as you can see, it's going to take a day and 23 hours. The further you go along in this game, the more time it's going to take in order to increase your base's power. So in order to gain the materials that you need, you have energon here, which you can collect. And then you also have alloy, which is another substance that you can collect in order to basically put together all these things. Everything has their own different amount of alloy and energon they need. So here you see this laser turret needs 2 days. That's 2 Earth days. That's 48 hours in order to complete this. And it also needs 210,000 energon and 640,000 alloy. Now, patience is the name of this game here. You really have to be patient. And obtaining these materials is not this difficult. You don't just have to do that. You could attack other players. You could do other things, events and whatnot. It's pretty solid. And then you could also research your Transformers, and you can make them a lot stronger than they were. When your base gets to about level 8, you have the option of creating a bunch of Transformers that are from the other team on your team. So if you're an Autobot like I am, when I reached level 8, I actually was able to play as Decepticons. Although I don't have an alternate base or anything like that, I have the same base. I could just use a Decepticon team, which is pretty wild. Now, this game changed a lot from when it first came out. When it first came out, it was kind of limited. You did have a couple of different things. It was kind of like wild. Let me show you exactly what we've got as far as battles go. So it has a campaign or a story mode, and it starts off right over here. You get Optimus Prime, you get a 2-star Optimus Prime. Your Transformers are anywhere from 2 to 5 stars. 5 obviously being the strongest, 2 obviously being the weakest. So you go through this little campaign here. There's about 5 different episodes. You get to the end, you get an Optimus Prime. You move over to the next one, The Lost Map. It's another kind of story. You get a 1-star Sunstreaker. Actually, yes, you do get 1 star to 5 stars. I forgot, because 1 star is actually pretty rare. You usually get anywhere from 2 to 5 stars. It's very rare you're going to get a 1-star character. Moving along, if it'll let me. You get Ratchet, also a 1-star. Bumblebee, there's a 2-star. And then it kind of gets kind of wild. Secrets of Nebulos, when you get to this stage, you're actually gaining a Power Core Lab. And the Power Core Lab is actually pretty wild. It's going to be over here, in which you can use different cores to change the appearance and looks or even the powers of some of your Transformers. So here, all these robots that are here, I actually have them looking like a G1 character, and I'll show you them later on. Here's a bunch of other things. There's Rejuvenate, there's Attack, That's vitality. There's so many different things you could do. And then you could also increase their power. So here, Perceptor, my 3-star Perceptor, has a rejuvenate. It restores 0.7% health every 5 seconds. And if you look on the right, there's a bar. It shows that it's at level 3. Now, I have some extra rejuvenates here, which are not being used. So what I'll do is I'll go there, and I will select the ones that are not on any transformers. Oh, well, max level is reached there. So I'll fuse it with 18,000 Energon. And now it increases to 0.9%. It's not a lot, but, you know, it does something. And you could even use other things that are not there. Like, here we go. We'll take a look at Vitality with Silverbolt. We'll activate it. Now, I have a bunch of extra Vitality. I could use that to increase it. So there we go. It's only going to take 3,000. And you could boost it. His health is now 4.5%. Again, not a lot, but it's a lot at the same time. You can also find a bunch of the Battle Masters, as they're called now, which really, back in the 80s, these were target masters. They were actual transformers that could become guns. Now they become swords, like Lionizer's a sword. Fire Drive, he's a gun. Top Shot is a gun. And then you also have Decepticon guns that you could collect as well. Here's Ravage. Ravage has 4,455 health and can cause 96 damage per second. So you kind of use him in battle, which is pretty wild. You use all those guys in battle. There's axes, swords, guns, regular cassette tapes, and you collect them all, and you're able to use them on specific transformers. You could use the Autobots on Autobots, Decepticons on Decepticons. And that's not all. The other things that they did, which I thought was pretty wild, and this is something they didn't have in the beginning. If you enter the lab, well, actually, well, here's something else. You could also use building cores. You could create building cores. These things attach to any of your buildings and make them much stronger. So, as I was saying, though, they also had something that they never had in the beginning of this game, this series. Here we go over here, Combiner Wars. You could actually complete this, and you are given a Combiner Lab. Now, the Combiner Lab is actually pretty wild because it does exactly what you think. You can activate and create different combiners as long as you have the characters, as long as you have the actual bots that you need. So here I have Superion, but I'm missing a couple of bots. I'm missing Air Raid and Alpha Bravo. They have to be at least 3 stars. You see I have a 4-star Skydive, which is amazing. The other thing that's kind of wild is you cannot change the characters at all. Like, you can't have Decepticon combiners. At least I don't think so. This one becomes Victorion. I don't have any of those spots for that. The Dinobots, you have 3-star Dinobots. You could create Volcanicus, which, if you've been playing or seen the War for Cybertron Siege line, now the Dinobots can form a giant. They could form Volcanicus, which is pretty wild. Here we go. I have Defensor. I only have First Aid and Rook at 3 stars. I have a couple of the other characters at those different things, but not really. Omega Supreme, you can find Omega Supreme. You have to unlock all these parts, though. And this is all stuff that you find during gameplay and whatnot, as well as with Shanix credits. You actually have credits where you can buy those pieces. Here's Optimus Maximus. There also, during Siege, there was a thing where Optimus Prime could become a combiner, along with Mirage, Sunstreaker, Ironhide, and Prowl. I'm missing Mirage and Optimus Prime in 3 stars for that. And again, I don't think that we could do the Decepticons that way. Your teams are pretty wild. you have a combined power of 14,200, and you can collect multiples of the same characters. So as you can see, I have Skydive in 4 stars. I also have him in 3 stars. There he is right there, 3 stars. And then you could also collect Decepticons. And as you look at them, he's with this cat gut right there. And you could actually check out their transformations. That's one of my favorite things, just to check that out. That's pretty wild. I love that sound. And they do transform like they normally do. Some of them are actually their Cybertronian look as well. You can collect the Cybertronian looks. Like, let's see, we'll go back to the Autobots. And here's Cybertron Jetfire. I also have the regular Jetfire. Which is pretty wild. And you can collect a bunch of them. They're from all across all kinds of things. They have all the generations. They have different characters. They have the characters from like a bunch of different movies. You'll have multiple Optimus Primes. You'll have multiple Star Optimus Primes. They'll have different things going on. There's Ultra Magnus. And you'll even find they've got Beast Wars. Which is pretty wild. So all of them come together. The way you get them, you're going to have to collect crystals. And the crystals you'll acquire for free through here, the space bridge. You could also buy them. There are these credits here. They're called cyber coins. And if you have enough cyber coins, you can actually purchase one of those things. You could also get crystals. And depending on the crystal, you get 2-star or greater, so forth and so on. As you can see, this crystal, my next available one is going to be in about an hour. But as long as you have the crystals, you could collect all those things. And then once you collect them, you can go to the space bridge. And you could actually use them on the space bridge there. Now, collecting materials is actually a lot of fun. What you're going to do is you're going to go into battle. You can attack a rival player. And before you attack that rival player, you get to select your team. You could swap out any bots that you don't want. Like if I don't want Red Alert, I actually have the 4-star Skydive. He's supposed to be in this team, but he is upgrading right now. So we'll confirm. You choose your battle zone depending on difficulty. My current squad power is 2,341. We'll go to the 2,000 power zone. And the strategy when you're building your base, you kind of want to have your base in the uppermost corner of the map so that it is really hard for the opposing team to actually get to it. And then you want to put a lot of stuff in their way to make sure that they're not going to make it. As you can see, these are the resources that are available to me, the XP that's available to me. And then I could also get medals. This one I can't get medals because I'm way too powerful for this. I should be challenging something else, but we'll see. Here we go. So we arrived at the enemy base. Now this guy, he actually has a pretty decent strategy. Over here is where his headquarters is, level 11. We got to get to it. Here's a laser. Here are some mortars that are going to like launch from a distance. The laser is really powerful. And then he has all his other stuff all around. So we're going to get to it as best we can. My strategy is going to be I'm going to attack from this corner here. And they have different powers that they could use. I'm going to use this. I'm going to hit them over here. I'm going to try to get all my Autobots to kind of get over there at that distance there. All right, well, we can't use that for now. Let's go. Come on. They don't focus sometimes. They actually want to attack whatever they want to attack. But you want to take out their most powerful weapons as soon as humanly possible. Or as soon as Cybertronianly possible. All those things I'm attacking, they do a lot of damage. You could also speed up the fight, so you could go through it a lot quicker. Definitely want to take these things out. It was about a 2-3 minute fight. Okay, so I took out most of those things, took out the base, there it is. 100% destruction, got all those items. And at this point, my bots would advance, but they are at the highest level. They are at level 30 right now. With the thing that well, it looks like Red Alert got some points. With the thing that I got now, they'll be able to go to level 40, but it takes a full day for them to just be in there and be able to obtain that level. It takes a lot of energy on at that point, too. The further you go, the more resources it's going to take. But as you saw, I just collected a bunch of resources, and now I'm able to use them in order to upgrade whatever I want. I have no free build bots, as you can see. I've got this, an Energon Harvester, which is going to harvest Energon for me. Going to level 10, it still has 23 hours, almost a full day. The storage, it has almost a full day. So forth and so on. Again, it takes a lot of time. You could, of course, skip that if you have the cyber coins, but as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, I've only got 109, and I'm not going to pay for like more. All of your reserves, you could hold on to extra things. As you can see, I have 585,000 out of 760 possible Energon, and my alloy, I have about 462 out of 970,000. You're just going to be able to keep doing that. There's also like other things that you could do. There are alliances, raids, and stuff like that. These Shanix coins you could use to buy certain things, to buy, like special items. There's a Shanix store, and it only takes those coins, and you'll be able to do that. So this team is not going to be ready for about 15 minutes. Well, went too far. Went to my Decepticon team, and I can't use them. An Autobot squad is required. So here's my second team. I'll take them, and they'll go into battle. And it's basically like a city. It's no specific person or anything like that. It's not an actual opponent. It's not a live opponent. It's a base. You kind of do it. It's kind of like a raid that you could do with your teammates, with your alliance. And as you play, you gain all kinds of rewards. The more points you score, the more rewards you get. In this case, it's all Shanix coins. There are other events where you could obtain crystals, you could obtain special items and nodes to use, things like that. So this is all that's left. This whole thing was actually full at one point. So now we're going to join in this fun. We're going to try to get these guys. We're probably not going to do as well as we think, but it's worth the shot. Every little bit helps. And they're just taking me out real quick. When the Transformers fail, if they die or whatever, they're not gone for good. They just have to heal like you saw with those other guys, 15 minutes. There we go. I didn't do too good. I only got 1.01% of the base destroyed. But at least it helped the team out. So now we've got it going further, and I'm gaining points for my squad as long as they're able to obtain points. Didn't get a lot, but it was a decent amount. And now we'll go back to my base, and we have a bunch of layouts and everything. Again, it's very much like Clash of Clans. You have walls that you can build, you have defenses that you can build, you have resources that you can take, you can absorb, things like that. And then what's really funny here is that you can just watch your Transformers walking around the base at any point. I just find that kind of humorous. But as you can see, these are walls over here. You could increase the walls. You could remove these obstacles. What I was trying to do was I was trying to get my base over here in this corner here. For some reason, it just won't stick. But if we get it in the corner there, it makes it a lot harder for the Decepticons to like come and take out my base. I think I'm going to have to remove some of these things before I could put the base back there, and then kind of build a kind of honeycomb around all of these other guns, so that way we could do whatever. We could have more defense. As you build along, there are defenses, walls, autocannons, auto outposts. Those outposts, you could actually stick a robot in there, and when the enemy attacks, he'll pop out and attack them. Laser turrets, mortars, stasis mines. If they step on it, they kind of freeze for like a little bit. Obviously, the stronger your stasis mine, the stronger or longer they're out of commission. Beam laser, shock tower, missile launcher I haven't gotten yet, shield generator, combiner beacon. Those are all things that do all kinds of things. Assign a combiner to defend your base. Upgrade to increase their stats on defense. Need level 16 headquarters for that. That's pretty wild. And then, of course, you know, utility, build bots, the space bridge, the power core lab, the scanner, all these different things that kind of like help you out and whatnot. Helio harvester, don't know what this is yet. When charged, increase the production of all energon harvesters by 100%. Nice. So you definitely want to like go along. Cyber coins, I showed you guys, that's basically what you have over here that allows you to like buy extra things if you need. The Shanix store, depending on how many of those Shanix coins you have, you can buy whatever. As you can see here, the Omega Supreme tank is 5,000, which I don't have enough for. I don't really have enough for any of these things. That's why you got to keep doing all those different things with your team. You definitely want to partake in that, so that way you get more coins, you get more abilities and more chances to increase your base and just really make it like really good. And then here's the 5-star Optimus Primal for 50,000. Who knows if I'll ever get that? You never know, though. So anyway, that is Transformers Earth Wars. I actually really enjoy it a lot. I play it a lot. I have 4 different squads that I put into battle constantly, and when I actually use up a bunch of my energon and my alloy, rather than waiting for all these things to harvest all the extra stuff, I actually go and attack other people. It's just a lot of fun. My win ratio is pretty high. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I lose every once in a while, but not as much as I win. And that's all because of the kind of defense I have, the way that I actually increase their abilities. You definitely want to be able to research your Transformers. You want to be able to upgrade the defenses. This is going to cost 240,000 plus 5,000 of the spark here, which you need in order to like help upgrade. So that's going to be a big help. Actually, you know what will be a big help? My 3-star skydive on. Let's see. There we go. Upgraded him, so now he's more powerful. Those acid bombs are level 4. They're going to do way more damage. And of course, the further along I go, the more I need to use. That's a lot of energon that I don't have yet, but we'll get there. So once again, everyone, that's Transformers Earth Wars. Again, really fun game. I highly recommend it. As long as you've got the time to play it and everything like that. Some places or some alliances that you join, they may be a little bit gung-ho and require you to partake in events constantly, so you're going to have to, you know, just be wary of the group that you're joining. If you're just wanting to get into it casually, make sure you get into a casual group. If they're a hardcore group, you're going to have to face the consequences of dealing with a hardcore group. They really want to get the stuff done and get the rewards, as many as possible. I can't blame them. You get kind of addicted. So other than that, I really do hope you enjoyed the video. please like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. And if you have a moment, check out the main channel, Dark Strider. That's where you have all the console games, PC games, popular games, and things like that. Everything besides mobile. Once again, thank you for watching, and until the next one, take care.